Hi, I'm Mel the Fitness Czar, but I do a lot of other things besides, just fitness activities. I do a lot of things with the grandkids and also used to do this with the scouting program where we did space exploration, the merit badge. And part of that was building rockets. And I thought today I'd show you how to build a rocket. This is a rocket that I've flown several times. I've flown it with Estes A engines, B and C engines. With a C engine, it puts it pretty much out of sight. So it's a really cool rocket. Now, probably the coolest thing about this rocket is it's made out of just things that are throwaways here at the house, okay? So I'm going to show you what the ingredients are. So this is basically a rocket nose cone, has a shock cord, parachute recovery system, uh, motor mount that's can exchange Estes rocket motors, and I'm going to show you how to do all of that. And it's pretty much what you get with an Estes rocket. But the only difference is you have the joy of building it yourself. Okay, so here's a list of things you'd need to build this rocket. This is the tube out of a paper towel dispenser, okay? And this is just like off from a toilet paper roll. These things are handy. You have them around the house. Let's see. I've got a piece of a straw here. I'm going to need that for my launch lug. Uh, Stretchy cord. It's nice to have, but you don't have to have it. On this rocket, I just used some strong twine. It gets exposed to some heat as the rocket motor ejects the nose cone. Uh, Tape. I've got pins that are handy. Of course, Elmer's glue, scissors, and a hole punch. Hole punches are nice because you can get inside when we make the rocket motor mount. So basically that's all you need to get started on this adventure. Oh, you do need a little bit of cardboard. I just grabbed some cardboard off of a box top, and also at some point you'll need a sheet of paper, and you'll just be impressed. This is actually my best invention of them all, is how to make a nose cone that's symmetrical out of a toilet paper tube. All right, I think that's it. Now it's ready to get started. Okay, so where to get started on this thing? Let's start with making some fins, okay? We need something to have guidance on this rocket, okay? Something like this. Now, it's interesting when you're designing a rocket, you need to have what they call the center of mass. You have to have it forward of what they call the center of control or center of pressure, okay? And that's basically the part of the rocket that kind of steers it. This stuff right here, okay? So the steering portion has to be the center of guidance, I call it, has to be behind the center of mass. So that makes it so that when the rocket flies, it doesn't turn around and fly with, it doesn't make the back end of the rocket try and be the front end of the rocket, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So number one thing, we're going to start with our nose, with our body, and we're going to design some rocket fins for this thing, okay? This is what I did last time. I'm going to design something a little bit different. I just cut these out of cardboard, make them the same size. I'm kind of preferences to 3 fins, so this is going to be a 3-fin design. Okay, I'm doing a 3-fin design, so that means I have to have each fin about 60 degrees from the other fins. And so the best way I know of is take a sheet of paper and wrap it around the body of the tube here until it touches right here. And then I just make a little mark right here. That tells me basically what my circumference is of my tube. Now I'm going to make a line down this, and then I'm going to measure it and divide that distance into thirds, and I'm going to make marks on the tube itself, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to cut these things out and get it ready. Okay, so I measured it, and it turned out that it was exactly 5 inches around my tube. That's going to vary depending on your tube size, but I took 5 divided by 3, which gives me about 1.6 inches. And so I measured about 1.6 inches to here and then to here. And then I take that and I wrap it around. Got to wrap it around the outside here so I can see the marks that I put on it. But if I wrap it around the outside, then I can go, there's one spot right there, wherever my mark is, 2, and then 3, And that other one should have a mark, and it does. So now I've got marks at 60-degree intervals. Now, cool thing, I'll show you how to draw that line. All right, so as you can see, I've got a line right here, I've got a line right here, and a line right here, and these represent the 60-degree intervals I measured with my sheet of paper. Now take it and I put it on something that's kind of a straight edge, and I put it so I can, that's touching right there. Then I use that as my ruler to draw the lines, and these lines will help me to put my fins on straight. There's my last one. And I've got them. There you go, I got lines. Okay, so we're now at the critical point. I've cut out some cardboard fins. I'm ready to put them on. I've got lines that kind of tell me where I should put them on. So I'm just gonna basically put that right there. I'm gonna have my fins sit out a little bit. I think maybe I want them like that. I can have a choice. Oh, I'm kind of undecided which way I like them the best. I think I'm going to go like that. All right, so then I take a pin, and I'm going to pin these in the place where I want them to be. But I'm going to pin them kind of loosely because I haven't got any glue on it yet. So I'm just trying to get it lined up on the line here. I watched my wife do this when she's sewing. So now, when I do this, oops, I didn't get that one pin in correctly and straight. All right, now I'm just going to put a bead of glue on here, and that should take care of it. Okay, so basically what I've got now is I've got all of my fins pinned on and glued with a nice bead of glue going down each one. Next step, I mean, we're moving right along really quickly. Let's go ahead and we're going to design the nose cone. But in order to have the nose cone fit on, we're going to make kind of a joint that's going to help it to slide in and slide out. Yeah, I need to let the glue dry a little bit more, so we're going to go on to something else. We're going to make these little rocket motor mounts. This is the part that holds the rocket motor in place. These are 2 circles. And if you see this, you can see that I made kind of a locking mechanism so that I could pull these things out. And I made it so that you can lock these in. I don't know if you can see that really well, but inside here there are 2 rings that holds the motor in place. It's got to keep the motor from pushing through, and it's got to keep the motor from the engine from pushing out when the explosion happens to eject. So let's go ahead and build those things. So I'm taking the diameter of the tube. I'm just taking it, putting it on my cardboard here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just going to draw a circle. I'll draw 2 circles here. One circle with this, and then another circle in the middle of that, which is the circle that goes with my rocket engine. And as I told you, these motors are the same size, just making sure that I get it kind of in the middle. And there we go. Let's go ahead and draw that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. I'm going to pause the video for a second while I cut these out, and then I'll show you some adaptations that I make. I need to make 2 of these things to hold the rocket motor in place. Okay, so I cut out a circle. I used the diameter of this to draw the template of it, and then as I cut it out, I want to make sure that it slides in, okay, at different angles. So this is the right size. It looks like it's a really good fit. I'm going to make another copy of this. Now, in order to cut out the middle piece, that's where I use my hole punch. And I just go in there and I punch a couple of holes like this. And I basically, instead of cutting it out, I punch it out. And I'll show you the finished product here in just a second. Okay, so we've got these glued on. I'm going to add more glue later just so that I have a nice strong joint and I can see that there's some gaps and stuff like that, but I'll fix those things. Okay, so the next thing is we're looking at is it's like, how is this rocket motor going to fit inside of our rocket? Now, if you set it up here to the side, you can see that if it's like about right there, then I'm going to want the rocket motor mount to be about 3/4 of the way down for the deep one, and then all the way close to the top for the other one. So I'm going to put pins in that are going to restrict where that motor mount can fit. And what I mean by that is I'll take and put a pin in here and go, okay, I want that rocket motor mount to be about right there. So I'm just going to stick that pin through right there, and that's going to keep it. Now I'm going to go around to the other side, and I'm going to put another pin in at the same location. So I'm going to put one in about the same distance. This way, when I push the cardboard and it's got glue on it, I can push it down until it seats against those pins, and then later I just pull the pins out and they're holding everything in place. So I'm just putting those pins in right now to mount my rocket engine mount. And if you could see in there, yeah, there's a lot of pins, but the ones that matter are there. Now here are the two circles that that are going to hold our rocket motor in. Okay, so I just punched them out. The bigger one over here is going to be on the outside. The tighter one's going to be on the inside. And if you look at that, you can see that. Look at that. It fits just like that. So together, it'll look something like this. So I'll have a rocket motor here, a rocket motor engine mount here and here, and those things are going to be slid up inside the rocket motor, and that's going to hold everything into place. Okay, so this is my tightest one, and it's going to go in first. It's going to be the top one. So you notice that I've got pins here, here, and on the other side here. And I'm just going to put glue on it and just push it all the way up until it seats against that. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put glue along this thing. Okay, just put a nice big gobby bead of glue. And as much as I'd like to use the rocket motor to put it in there, I'm just going to push it in myself. And then I'm going to push it down with my finger. And just kind of push it down until it seats against those pins. Pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. Okay, it doesn't want to go down, of course. Okay. Anyway, that's how it works. Okay, I'm just putting a bead of glue down there. I know you can't see down this hole very well, but down there in the bottom, I put that rocket motor mount. And everything should be really good here. Got lots of glue down there. And if you look down there, you can see some daylight. You can see that the rocket motor mount is in place. Now I'm going to put the second one right behind it, but it's going to be kind of like a cap on the end. All right, so we've got the hard parts done. We've got the engine mounts in. You can see them in there. They're pinned in because everything's just drying. Everything from the fins. The straight pins, they are the secret to success. They make everything stay in place while the glue dries. So really, really good things. So I can just stand it up, you know, set it off to the side. We're going to work on it later. Now we're going to look at the nose cone. The nose cone, we just basically have to make it so that it's going to deflect the air and give us a nice straight shot. And it's going to be the cap that sits on top. So we're going to make that. We're going to start by drawing a line around it here. I want my nose to be kind of tapered, so I'm just going to draw a line right about here. You can see it. I'm just going to circle and twist, turn the... Doesn't have to be exact for my purposes. And you can see that I've just drawn a line around it. Now, I'm going to also draw a line about halfway. Well, actually about another line so that this tells me how deep to cut. So I'm going to cut this. So I don't know, you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to cut down to that deep line. And I'm going to cut it on the other side all the way down to that deep line. I don't cut these pieces off because this is part of your nose. And then I'm going to cut this piece into quarters. The more cuts you make, the smoother your nose cone is going to be. So don't worry if they're not exactly right. I'm going to cut a couple more down to that line in between. So basically I'm going to cut it into 8 cuts. So cut it in half, then cut those halves in half. That gives you 4 cuts. Then cut all those cuts in half again. That gives you 8. So you can see that I've got now 8 cuts. So you can see that it's kind of fanned out like that because there's cuts all over it. Now I'm going to use my scissors again. I'm just going to cut the cuts down to the middle line this time, okay? So if you can see that cut, I'm just cutting the little pieces in half now and making lots of shorter cuts into here. This will allow the nose cone to bend and to be more of a cone shape. All right. The next thing I'm going to do when I'm finished with this is I'm going to make a mold, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So, all right, I hope things are going well for you so far. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this extra scrap of paper. You can use anything you want to do this, but go ahead and make it into a cone. And this cone is going to be the shape that we're going to shoot for. You can see that I'm just making it like into an ice cream cone, right, like that, okay? And then I'm going to put a piece of tape on it like this. Grab a piece of masking tape because I don't want this cone to change shape. Oops, just like that. So go ahead and make my cone again like that. And then I just put a piece of tape over it like that. Now I've got kind of a cone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue all over on this, saturate it with lots of glue, okay? I'm going to put glue down inside this, inside the cone, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it down into the cone. Make sense? That's going to force all of my cardboard pieces to take the shape of a cone, and then when we're finished, we're going to trim off the excess paper, and the white will be glued onto the cone shape. And then we'll kind of sand it off so it looks nice. You'll see. Yeah, it's always been a challenge to make a consistent cone, and by having this paper cone, it's made it much, much easier. Now, I don't want to glue that to the table, but I'm going to put some glue down in here too. You can see that I'm just dripping glue down in here, down into the cone. All right, we're ready. I'm going to merge the two things here together, and then I'm going to try and get it straight. So I'm just pushing the cone into the other cone here. And I want to make that nice and straight. Push that in as far as you want. And I think that's it. I'm looking at it, just kind of making sure that it's lined up. Nice. It should look like a cone from every angle and not off to the side. There's what you got. Now we're going to let all that dry. Okay, so this is what our nose cone looks like now. I just kind of trimmed this off with scissors, all that extra, and just trimmed it off. I'll trim it off some more when it's dried thoroughly, okay? But for now, that's good enough. Now, we're going to attach this to the body, okay? So we want these two things to be attached together, and we're going to do that using some elastic. You can use almost anything for this, you know. In my other rocket, it's just string, just some nice string, solid. So we're going to use this because we have it. So not much to it. Just take a length of this. Let's see. Maybe just a little bit more. A little over a foot. Looks like I've tied it tighter. Okay, here we go. So we got this bungee string. I'm going to attach it to this, and there's a simple way of doing that. So, all right. So I just take a little square, a piece of paper like this, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it inside this, and I'm going to just put lots of glue here, and put glue here. Put that over that. Fold it over like that. Fold it over like this. Glue this down a little bit more. Glue. Glue. And then I'm going to put this glue on here on the outside of it. And just reach up in here. And then just glue it to the side of the capsule. You want to glue it a little ways in because otherwise it'll mess with your the way you connect the two things together. Anyway, that connects that. I'm going to repeat that process over on the other side of the rocket, and then they'll be connected. Okay, so here we are. I've attached it to both sides. I just rolled up some paper, rolled it into this stretchy cord. I put a knot in the end of each side of the stretchy cord just so that it would stay put a little bit better. So now we're going to make the connection so that it can be a joint. Okay? I'll show you how we're going to do that. Remember this sheet of paper that was actually, we used it to measure the width? We're going to use it to make a joint. So I'm just going to cut this like this. It's exactly 5. It should be about the same width as inside. If it is the same width, then it should just fit right inside here. Let's see if it does. Okay, so it's just a little bit longer. But basically, we're just going to glue that right there in place so that these two pieces can slide together. Okay, I'll show you the finished product. It may take a little bit of work here. So here I am. I'm just sticking glue in here on the inside edge. I like to smear it around with my finger to get a nice, so there's no gaps and nothing there. Then I'm going to take my little sheet of paper. This is going to be my joint. Sometimes you can take it on the corner here and just go like that, and it makes it more rounded. Makes it want to be rounded, I guess. I'm going to wrap it around that cord and then just slide it inside. And make sure I get it flat so that it doesn't, so that it stays together well. There we go. That looks pretty good. Can you see what we've done there? I've just made a joint that I can connect these two things together with. Okay, so we're getting down to the end things. I mean, the only thing that left is we need a parachute, and so I grabbed the target bag, which kind of looks like a parachute to start with. I cut it open so I have a big flat surface to work with. I made this template out of a frying pan lid, so it's a nice circle that I can just put here in the middle of my bag. Then I'm going to take my Sharpie pen, there we go, and I'm just going to circle around it. I don't know what you can see there, you probably can't see this, but I'm just drawing a big circle around the target bag. And, oops, that's kind of hard right there. There we go. So now I've drawn the circle. You can see the circle. I'm just going to try and cut that out now. So I'll pause you while I cut this out. So here we have it. This is my target bag parachute. Now I'm going to reinforce it so that it doesn't tear. So I'm just taking little tiny squares of masking tape. And I'm going to put one on each side. I'm going to make 4 strings. So I'm going to put one there on this side. Then I'm going to go to the opposite side. And I'm going to put one right on this opposite side. And I'm going to put one in the next 90 degrees off from that. And so I could put a little square right there. And I'm going to put a square right here. So now these are kind of working like little grommets here. So now I'm going to get my hole punch out right here, and I'm just going to punch a hole in each one of those little spots. And there's 3, and let go. And I got one more here. Just punching that hole right there. Okay, now I'm going to take 4 strings, make them about this long right here. So now I've cut myself 2 pieces of string. They're about this long, and I made them that long so that I could tie one end to each side of the parachute, and then I'll bundle them together. So I'll just show you one of those real quick. Take one of these strings, stick it through the hole right here. And you know, this doesn't have to be complicated because it won't come undone. But I just do one overhand knot and I just pull it tight and it's done. Then I'm going to tie the other side to the other side, and then I'll bundle them. I'll show you when that's finished. All right. So here I have basically everything kind of tied to this. I'm just going to put an overhand knot into this right up here. Now I've got a tie point, and I'm just taking a zip tie, put that zip tie through here, bring my rocket body over here, and I'm just going to zip tie it to the shock cord. And I pull that nice and tight, and I can clip that off with just about anything, including my punchers here. There we go. That's all connected. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to find out if the rocket's going to fly or whether it's going to be uncontrolled. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the center of mass, which is where is the rocket balanced. So this is just the basic components I've mounted the engine into, because the engine's going to be in place, and it happens to be a C engine, which means it's full of rocket propellant all the way to the top. So I'm going to head and I'm just going to put this rubber band on it and just see how it hangs. It's like I didn't get all of the rubber bands on. Let me try that one more time. There we go. There we go. All right. So if I hang this, you can see that it's bottom down right here. So I got to move this back to find the center of the mass. All right, so that's the center of mass right there. So let's go ahead and we're just gonna do it around in a circle and see how it flies. Okay, so what we just learned from that is that the center of mass isn't far enough forward in order for this to be a controlled rocket. So I'm going to add just a little bit of weight to the nose cone, just a little tiny screw, and I'm just going to put it right there, and I'm going to put a little tape to keep it in place. So we just added a little bit of weight to the nose of the rocket. I'm just going to tape that in place. We may have to add that permanently. So we've added a small amount of weight to the nose. Now we're going to go back to our center of mass demonstration. Let's check and see where our center of mass is. Oh, look, it's now moved forward. So we can go ahead and we can slide this up. We'll see how that does. That looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and we'll just test it and see if it flies this time. Okay, that's the right amount of weight to add, and now we have a stable rocket with a C motor. With a lighter motor, that should be even more stable. All right, so we're really close to being done here. We just need to add a launch lug. That's just so we can launch the rocket. I just set it up against something that's straight like this, and you'll notice that it'll line everything up, and I can just draw a line right there. And that line's just to help me because I know that's going to be straight up the rocket. I'm going to now glue onto that line. So let's grab a piece of glue and our straw. Just put a bead of glue right here. I'll add a little bit of extra glue to it just because, you know, having that being strong is very important. So I just lined it up on the line and glued it down. Now, the only thing left to do is to trim up some of this, and we're going to paint this rocket, and then we'll be finished. It'll be ready for flight. Okay, so I almost forgot something really important. So here's a rocket motor. They come in a package of 3, and they're usually $8 to $10. They're not ready to be launched in our rocket yet, okay? What we need to do is we need to make it, modify it so that it stays in our rocket. Okay, you can see that there's a notch that's in here. That notch is for a zip tie to go through, and then there's a zip tie on the other side that locks it into place, okay? I'm going to show you that real quickly. So this is the smaller zip tie. It's just really a small one. I'm going to put it on, and since it's going to push in, I'm going to put it around here like this. You can see me pulling it tight here, and you can see that it's about a ½ inch down from the rocket. Okay, you can put it up a little bit more, about right there. Look good? Then I'm going to pull that really snug and tight, okay? Just as tight as I can pull it because I don't want that to slip. Now, when it's in tight like that, it doesn't move. Then I'm going to take my little clippers. I'm going to go right here in front of it, and I'm going to clip that off right there. Okay. So now I have half of the locking mechanism, okay? Here's the other half. It's just a bigger zip tie. The reason I chose a bigger zip tie is because it helps to lock it into place, and this zip tie won't go through the small hole. It's a bigger one. So I come around, I wrap this around, and it's going to be up here next to the edge. I just want to be able to show you that really quickly. Okay, I'm pulling it down. Now you can buy zip ties, you can buy a whole bag of them, and they're not that expensive to do. So I don't mind using a few zip ties. Now you notice that I don't have the locking part of the zip ties. I don't have them lined up. I have one on one side and I have the other one on the other side. Can you see that? They're on different sides of each other. Now I'm going to clip this one off right here. Great. Now, I come to my motor mount. When I stick this in, you can see that the small one's going to fit down through that hole. So if I do this, I'm just trying to show you it happening. Make sure it's lined up with the other rocket motor mount, and it will slide in. You can see it just slid in. Now I'm lining it up with that hole right there. Push it in just a little bit further. Then I just turn it to the left or the right. And when I do that, it's in place. This now won't come out. It won't go in. It's locked into place. Okay, so here we are. This is the finished product. This is Corbin's rocket. Actually, it reads that way. Corbin's rocket is going to be fired with a B motor. And let's just go see how it does. This is per our design that we built yesterday. All right. You want to hook up the wires?
Absolutely. Spread them slightly.
How'd you like how it took off? You know, no hesitation.
That's nice.
Okay, that's a big difference.
Alright, I'm gonna go up, top down. A little easier. Okay.
Okay, let's go. Let's go see if the light's on. Ready to launch your rocket again?
Yeah.
Oh, it's unplugged. Where's the battery pack?
Okay. Does it matter?
Yeah,
Yes,
will
it
only fit
matters.
one way.
Okay. Continuity. Ready?
No, there's-
Continuity. Countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
0.
Whoa! Got a little spiral to it. For the pop.
Go get it!
Let's go! Let's go! Ah! Come on, parachute!
Woohoo!
We got continuity.
Let's try it.
We wait till the wind comes down a little bit.
Continuity.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Of course the wind picks up right then. Okay, Corbin, we gotta get to the... Oh, watch your step.
What? Oh no. Where is it? I think it's on the
Oh
mountain.
yeah, we got this.
This is why I don't have my parachutes open, Ben.